Oh hey, welcome back, again. Now for today, we will start the command for our fire bending techniques. And just like the previous bending, fire bending also has 3 techniques. And to have an access for those techniques, we need first to activate our fire bending element. We can do that by dropping the blaze powder on our 3rd slot. After activating it, dropping the blaze powder on the 1st slot will deactivate the bending element. Now for our first technique, the fire blast. Dropping the blaze powder on the 2nd slot will unleash a fire projectile that will burn an entity for a hit. At the impact, it will deal 3 damage and will set the entity on fire. The projectile can reach up to 30 radius from the player. Also using this technique can also clear out ice. If the ice created by the water bending technique bothering you, then this will be your answer. Now move on to the 2nd fire bending technique. Dropping your blaze powder on the 3rd slot will unleash a fan flame that will roast entities in the area. This one is my favorite. We will get in other details of this technique later on. Now for our 3rd technique, the Thunder Strike. Dropping your blaze powder on the 4th slot will summon lightning on a path, and casting it will grant you a very short resistance, so that you won't get hurt by using it. Also, we will tackle the other infos about it later. Right now, we will focus on the fire blast. So without further ado, let's get to the commands. First, we need to do the commands for accessing the fire bending. By the way, make sure that you already watched the previous part of this video before doing this. About accessing the fire bending, we will just replicate this tower. All of the functions of this tower will be the same as the following commands that we will be doing. We just need to tweak it a little to be fit for fire bending. So no need to explain these parts since it's the same as on the previous video about switching element method. Kindly just copy these commands for now. looks like we can access fire bending now. Let's see. All commands are correct. By dropping the blaze powder on the first slot, you could also deactivate the fire bending. Now time for the commands for Fire Blast. We will start by summoning the armor stand for our Fire Blast. After dropping the blaze powder on the second slot, to activate this technique, we need to quickly replace the item we dropped so that the previous command won't spam. Once we drop the blaze powder to unleash a fire blast, that item must not be picked up again. Now let's check if these commands right now are correct. That's what we are expecting right now. Let's add now a casting sound effect. All right, now to make them move forward. Next, to prevent the armor stand to move forward forever, we need to set a range limit. This command will remove all Fire Blast armor stand that is not within our 30 radius. Okay, now to make the armor stand set the entity it come in contact with in fire. Okay, next command will be the sound effect whenever the armor stand set an entity on fire. to make the armor stand able to remove ice. Now it can clean up the mess that the water bending technique did. Alright, time to put damage command to the armor stand. Entities near to radius from the fire blast armor stand will take 3 damage. Alright, now to make it look like a projectile. Once it hit an entity, the armor stand should be removed. Unless the armor stand have killed the entity, the armor stand will not be removed. Good. Now for the finishing touch. Let's add the particle and hide the armor stand. And for the last one, to hide the armor stand. Finally! Now time to show the result. Alright, now that's our fire blast. Next will be the fan flame. You can find the link of that video on the description. So that's it for now, guys. See you on the next video.